Large areas of the United States are covered with snow during a good portion of the year. In summer, only the highest peaks will remain white. But in wintertime, the snow covers plains and mountains from the west coast to the Atlantic Ocean. Modern warfare demands soldiers trained to perform specific missions under all circumstances, and regardless of handicaps such as weather conditions and terrain formations. Even a moderate snowfall will seriously hinder, if not completely halt, the mobility and speed of action of certain branches of the military combat machine. Thus, a ski unit capable of traveling over snow-covered territory under adverse climatic conditions becomes of highest strategical importance. It can fulfill its mission of reconnaissance and achieve the prompt transmission of intelligence, and even attack or hold the enemy in check from advantageous positions in mountainous country. We must realize that the speed, rhythmic precision, and accurate maneuvering of the ski unit which we see here is not attained by merely strapping a pair of skis to the feet, assuming that gravity will do the rest. Systematic schooling and rigorous training of the soldier in military principles and modern skiing technique is imperative to achieve this high degree of efficiency.
Two new replacements came up from regimental headquarters today. Rifleman Parker and Johnson, sir.
Good. Have them report to me at once. And after mess, issue their equipment and instruct them in the proper care and use.
Yes, sir. Now, about your skis. By the very nature of its use under adverse weather conditions, the finest skiing equipment available will deteriorate rapidly unless given prompt and efficient care. This is of primary importance, because not only may a man's life depend upon his skis, but also the safety of his entire unit as well. Now, Jensen, we'll measure you for your skis. Now, this is one method of determining the correct length of the ski, by placing the tip at the palm of a man's hand with his arm extended over his head. For example, you're about 6 foot tall, average weight. You'll take a 7'2" ski. Now, you'll notice that the ski is widest across the tip. It's narrowest at the middle. It widens somewhat toward the end. This shape of ski has proven to be the most satisfactory. There you are. All right, Parker. Now for your ski boots. What size do you wear?
Size 8.
Oh, yeah, here's a pair.
Look kind of large for me, Sergeant.
That's right, they are. They're always issued larger than a regular GI shoe because when you're skiing, you'll be wearing 2 pairs of woolen socks.
Oh, I see.
Now, look at this boot. It's especially built for skiing with a blunt, square toe. Those metal sole protectors are attached to the boot at the toe, so you'll get solid resistance at the toe irons. The soles are of rigid leather. That's to eliminate any chance of a spiral twist. In addition to the laces, the boot has a broad leather strap around the instep. The heel has a deep groove to firmly hold the spring of the binding. Now, about your skis themselves. These are made of hickory. They have a long parallel groove running from just below the tip to the end of the ski. This groove helps to keep the skis running in a straight line and parallel to each other. You will notice that they are shaped in a design to give them the necessary camber and springiness. Now, care must be taken to prevent the ski from warping and losing its camber by keeping them in a press, as you saw when we took them out.
What are these metal edges for?
Well, there are two reasons for them. Resistance to wear, and because they give the ski a sharp biting edge for turns on hard-beaten or frozen snow. Same principle in that respect as with ice skates. But one thing to remember is to make sure that these screws, securing the edges to the skis, are kept tight, and the heads polished smooth with a flat file. Modern skiing depends to a very great extent on these bindings. Now, here is the base plate, the adjustable toe irons, the cable, the heel spring, and the adjusting lever, which forces the boot firmly into the toe irons of the ski. Johnson, what size boot do you wear?
10.
10? Here's a pair. The toe irons must be fitted to the boot. Of course, this won't do. First, we loosen these screws. By interlocking these teeth, a perfect fit will be obtained. Before this adjustment, there is no difference between the two skis. However, once the bindings are fitted to the boots, you then have a left and right ski. Now the toe irons are properly adjusted. The boot is given a snug fit in line with the ski. Then you place the heel spring into the groove at the heel of the boot and snap the adjusting lever. The boot now has no side play at all in the binding. For downhill work, when it is necessary to lean forward and for the feet to maintain the closest possible contact with the ski itself, it is necessary to place this cable underneath these two hitches on the side of the ski. But in climbing, walking, or running, you use the relief hitch. This gives the foot ample freedom to work the ski and lengthen the stride. Now, once you've adjusted the toe irons to fit your boots, you don't have to worry about it any further, except for a regular daily inspection of the skis and bindings. You'll find out more about that when you start skiing, climbing, and making long downhill runs.
You mean like the men were doing this afternoon when we came in? We were watching them, and it looked great.
That's what I mean.
You mean we can do that tomorrow?
I mean tomorrow you can learn to walk. Maybe. Hey, Murphy, you know better than to do that. You're putting them too near the fire. When your boots are wet, you never want to get them too near the heat. Because if they dry out too fast, it takes the life out of the leather. And it'll give you a hard boot that'll crack rather than give softly. That's one reason why you have to keep these boots well polished at all times. Not just for appearances, but to keep the leather alive and supple.
Sergeant, what are these for?
Oh, I'm glad you asked that, Johnson. When you're planning a long climb, you take these skins and slip them on like this. And you buckle them, making sure that the nap runs away from the tip of the ski. The idea is that the ski and skin will slide forward to some extent, but will not slip backward, because each of the thousands of hairs on the skin will act as a traction brake on the snow. Oh, here's something you men ought to watch. Ames here is going to lacquer his skis. Ski lacquer. Liquid ski wax. Scrape and clean the running surface of the skis thoroughly. Apply a thin coat of ski lacquer with a brush. When well dry, apply second coat. Allow 12 hours for the last coat to harden before using the skis. Shake well before using. It's a job you'll have to do from time to time to keep your skis in good condition. Of course, it is essential before applying this lacquer that the surface of the ski be cleaned thoroughly with steel wool. The application of this lacquer on the running surface of the ski provides the best possible base for any of the various waxes, as well as sealing and protecting the wood itself. Well, that's enough for now. Better turn in and get a good night's rest. Tomorrow morning, the ski instructor will start your actual ski lessons. And good luck to you.
Thank you, Sergeant.
There you are. That ought to do it. Oh, Johnson.
Yes, sir.
Come over here. Parker here will show you how to wax your skis the way I just showed him.
Yes, sir. Well, in the first place, the sergeant says today we use the medium wax.
Why?
Because of the temperature. Hard wax for cold temperature and dry snow. Apply thin coat. Medium wax for warm temperature and wet snow. Apply freely. If it's cold and dry, we use the hard wax. But today it's warm and a little wetter, so we have to use this medium wax. Now, first we put it on like this, see? Then start rubbing it in. With a cork, but better with the palm of your hand, see? Wait a minute.
More?
Right. The final touch, a little paraffin to dress the wax. That'll really speed them up.
All right, men. Outside. You're in kind of a hurry, aren't you?
Sure, this is going to be great.
Where are your sun goggles?
Goggles? Oh.
Did you ever hear of snow blindness? May not look very bright out there right now, but the white surface of the snow intensifies the glare of the sun. That's why you have to wear those goggles. Oh, and by the way, you better put some of this preparation on your face to prevent sunburn.
Yes, sir.
Here we see the men climbing on a hard-packed foot trail leading to the nearby practice slopes. They carry their skis edgewise on one shoulder, running surface against running surface. Some skiers support the skis with the poles laid over the other shoulder, thus dividing the load more evenly. However, the poles carried in the free hand can also be used to good advantage for climbing. You step aside, Parker and Johnson, motions the instructor. He's going to give them rudimentary directions in the art of skiing, how to stand on skis and how to grip the poles. Step first in the lower one. Place the heel spring into the groove and snap the lever. Now the upper ski. As to your poles, slip your hands properly into the leather loops so that the broad strap remains flat and untwisted around the wrist, and then grip the pole firmly. Ski poles should neither be too long nor too short. In any case, they should not exceed the height of a man's armpit. Their primary purpose is to serve as a help in walking or running on level ground and for climbing. Walking on skis should be as much as possible a gliding and sliding over the snow surface, relaxed and supple. Each leg slides alternately forward, helped by the push and follow-through of arm and pole. When the left ski slides forward, the right arm and pole move forward simultaneously and push through to prolong the stride. This is the two-step. First, two little running steps, and then push with the poles. 1, 2, push. Left leg, right leg. Notice the powerful follow-through of arms and poles. The kick turn is frequently used to change direction on flat ground, and especially when climbing, to change from one direction to the other. Slide the one ski about to be lifted a few inches back. Swing it high and place the end on the snow. Take the pole out of your way and tilt the ski around. Then follow with the other ski and pole. It is advisable, unless you find yourself on an extremely steep slope, to kick turn toward the hillside, beginning the maneuver with the upper ski, the one nearest the slope. The three-step is another efficient and practical gait for cross-country running. It requires 3 running steps and then a push with both poles. Every single stroke begins with the alternate leg. Watch. Left, 2, 3, push. Right, 2, 3, push. It's a harmony of coordinated motion. While the legs run, both poles are swung forward, and on the 3 beat, they sweep through, lengthening the distance of the slide considerably. In the straight running position, the skis are kept parallel and close together, with one ski slightly advanced. The knees must be pressed forward and remain elastic and supple, acting as shock absorbers for whatever may cross your way. The body is pitched forward, but fairly upright, relaxed and balanced, with the weight equally distributed on both skis. Look ahead, not down at your ski tips, and keep your poles by all means lined up behind you and not pointed toward the body. The fists holding the poles are advanced and will be helpful in regulating your lateral balance. Well, here are our 2 new recruits back from their first walk. They must have been doing all right to be promoted so quickly. Here they go. Johnson is somewhat off balance, it seems. Not quite forward enough, and Parker's knees are too stiff. That'll have to be corrected. Down he goes. Falling is no disgrace in itself, as the best skiers are forced to touch ground once in a while. If a fall is inevitable, take it easy and relax. To get back on your feet, line up both skis across the slope and beneath you. With the help of the pole nearest to the slope, you push yourself up again. Climbing is also done with different steps according to the degree of the slope. The most common step for climbing is to traverse the slope with the normal sliding step, pointing both skis up the slope at a moderate angle. The herringbone is another step used to negotiate narrow passages or short direct ascents. Lift each ski alternately over the other one, with the ski tips far apart and the ends close together. The forward position of the knees gives a firm grip with both the inside edges and provides a solid stance. The spread of the tips will vary with the steepness of the slope. In the regular side step, the upper ski is lifted clear off the snow and placed a step above, and the lower ski follows. The knees are slightly tilted in towards the slope, thus gripping the snow with the edges, which will prevent any slipping. The whole pattern resembles a staircase, and the skier ascending it sideways instead of facing it. This step can be used with advantage for short climbs, or reversed, going down difficult and narrow passages. Combining the regular walking step with the side step will make you master of the most serviceable and generally used manner of climbing. The characteristic of the snow plow is the V-shaped position formed by both skis. The ends of the skis are pressed apart with the heels so that the ski tips almost touch each other. Although the width of the snow plow is of a certain importance in decreasing your speed, it can be highly exaggerated without any actual benefit. More important than anything is pressing the knees forward. They control the bite of the edges. The body must be centered squarely and symmetrically on both skis, thus distributing the weight equally. Too much edging is just as bad as holding both skis absolutely flat. You must have the feeling of firmness in your ankles, as though you were gently scraping the snow off the surface. Increased pressure with the heels and widening of the snow plow to come eventually to a desired stop should be applied gently and with caution by pressing the knees further forward and lowering the center of gravity. By pushing one shoulder forward and putting more weight on one ski than the other, you will perform the simplest and most fundamental form of a turn, the snow plow turn. If you want to turn to the left, you pivot with the body over to the right ski. In other words, you gradually transfer most of your weight to what will become the outside ski of the turn. With the transfer of the weight onto the outside ski, the shoulders, hips, and arms have to pivot and cooperate by steering the turn around to completion. In particular, the knee, which carries more weight, has to give readily, because only if your knees are pressed well forward can you control the edges and assure a smooth and round turn. It is essential to turn with and on both skis, not allowing the inside ski to lag behind. You should come around, holding the snowplow position throughout, with the ski tips as close together as possible. The final position of one turn is automatically the starting position for the following snowplow turn. In a traverse, the skis are lined up at more or less of an angle across the slope, all depending at which speed the skier intends to traverse the slope. The upper ski is slightly advanced, with the greater portion of the weight resting on the lower ski, and with a tendency to lean away from the hill with the upper part of the body. The knees are pressed forward and very slightly in towards the slope. This will lead the skis across the slope without any side slipping. If you want to side slip intentionally, it will be necessary to lean somewhat into the slope with the upper part of the body, balancing your weight on both skis. This will flatten the skis automatically, and they will slide down the hill broadside. Side slipping cannot be practiced enough, especially for the soldier skier. It is also the magic key for all the turns at higher speed. While side slipping, keep your skis in line, guiding them with the knees, regulating the distribution of the weight and the bite of the edges. When running in changing snow conditions, and also when going through dips and over bumps, it is necessary to push one ski ahead to protect the skier from falling forward. This advanced ski will lengthen the base for the skier considerably and lessen the impact of bumps. It is a pronounced lunge with all the necessary give in the knees. This motion is the beginning of the stem turn and all the higher speed turns. It is a preparatory backswing and one of the paramount details for a flawless skiing technique and the source for the necessary rhythm. The turn begins with the skis parallel in one traversing direction. After the turn is completed, the skis will join each other again. First, draw back the upper shoulder, as this automatically will release and balance the motion of the right ski, sliding it into a half-stem position. More and more, the body pivots over to the upper ski, thus transferring the weight gradually to what becomes the outside ski of the turn. The body will have all the impetus it needs to finish the turn by simply bringing the outside shoulder around and ahead. If the slope is not too steep, little stemming with the upper ski will be necessary. The stem turn is a curve, a gradual turn, so do not try to cut corners, and do not forget that you have to go down and around with your turn without jerking or lifting either of the two skis off the snow. Make sure that you complete the turn and that you are well around and past the direct line of the slope before you let the skis run together. In the steered turns, as the snowplow turn and stem turn are classified, two factors, momentum and centrifugal force, are intentionally kept at a minimum because the skier is not in a position to take advantage of them. With increased speed, the skier will learn to utilize momentum and centrifugal force to a great extent. They are the origin of swing in skiing. In the pure stem turn, the skis are run together gradually, whereas in the advanced stem turn, they are swung together. Due to the increased speed, the skis will begin to skid during the latter and final phase of the turn. Furthermore, this skid can be intensified purposely by rotating swing and an accurate up and down motion of the body before the skis are brought together. At first, it is easier to steer the turn for the greater part of the curve, at least until after the skis have passed the direct line of the slope. and then swing them together. All the movements and details applied in the advanced stem turn will repeat themselves in the stem Christiania. Swing the upper shoulder back, sliding the lower ski into the familiar preparatory half stem. Then together. Shoulder, knees, and body forward. Then skid. With the very measured up motion and the accentuated weight transference, the outside shoulder and arm begin to swing forward. With the down motion, the knees and body are driven forward as the inside ski joins the other one in a sweeping skid. This is the characteristic of a successful stem Christiania. With perfection, the skis are brought together much sooner, long before facing the direct line of the slope. This will result in what is called pure swinging. Once you can link your Christianias in a fluent chain, the end of one becoming the beginning of the other, you will be the master of your skis. Most spectacular of all, jump turns and terrain jumps can be of some use under exceptional circumstances. The purpose of a jump turn is to take both skis completely off the snow and switch them around in mid-air to the desired direction. The takeoff in a terrain jump should be determined, pulling the knees well up to the chest. When landing, the legs slide into the slope in a long stride to absorb the impact. You now see the men going off on actual duty. They carry their rifles, pack sacks with full equipment, and have climbing skins on their skis. The skins, of course, will be taken off once the soldiers start downhill running.